continue to bless me. Lord, I'm grateful. Lord, I'm thankful for making a way for me. You continue to bless me. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. You continue to bless me. You continue to bless me. Everybody just say with me, say, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. You continue to bless me.
I've been messed up, stressed out with no luck. But every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Thank God I got a chance to wake up. Wake up, another day that get my kick up. Cause every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, little slick, get up out of bed. You was like a couple steps away from being out of here. Thank you for my granny prayers. Thank you for my partner now. I thought I was finished, yeah. Jesus told me start again. I will party sundown till day's end. Making money that I can't spend. I had a failing marriage and some fake friends. I had to doubt my doubts and let faith in. Was broken. I done brought me out like I was Moses. I'm chosen. Woke up Sunday morning feeling focused. Funny acting. Swipe left, yeah. That's on mama's always capping. Swipe left, yeah. No more drama. Boy, you know you blessed. Last night was a mess. God just hit refresh.
I've been messed up, stressed out with no luck. But every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Thank God I got a chance to wake up. Wake up, another day that get my kick up. Cause every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Wake up, wake up.
Woke up in the new Diablo. Father touched me like I'm Pablo. Sunday service on the front stoop with a cup of tea in the condo. Tony Evans kicking convo, walking me through my storm. And I ain't grew up hearing gospel, but I got it playing this morning. I done been through this a time or two. I keep going back, but now I'm finally through. I'm like, if I was God, I'd be tired of you. But he be open arms like he desire you. I'm like, wow. Smoking, sipping, slipping, thought I lost my grip and wow. Pulled me back and told me I'm forgiven.
I woke up Sunday morning, wait up on my chest. Had to remind myself that every day I'm blessed. Cause every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Thank God I got a chance to wake up. Wake up, another day that get my kick up. Cause every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Wake up, wake up.
Yeah. 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 Seasons change the color so quickly, it's hard to keep up with the leaves. Cause everybody leaves. On my birthday, Kobe, Gigi, and 7 souls remind me that the tree of life is so uncertain. And tomorrow has unpredictabilities as colorful as the smiles that took off that day. May that Sunday morning resonate past trophies and trinkets in the ongoing pursuit of more to sober us with the humbling truth. My life and your life is just a vapor. And if what you see is all you see, then you do not see all there is to be seen. Quickly, we leave.
Overflow in this place. Have your way in this place. We want more in this place. Have your way. Everybody sing over in this place. Have your way in this place. We want more in this place. Cause we realize that we're nothing without you. We can't walk without you. Yeah. We can't talk without you. And we can't live without you. Have your way. Is that your prayer? Lift it up. We can't walk without you. Say, we can't talk without you. Say, and we can't live, Jesus, without you. Say, have your way. It's all we want you to do, God. We can't walk without you. Say, and we can't talk without you. Say, we can't live without you. Say, have your way. We just can't make it without you. We can't walk without you, Jesus. We can't talk without you. Say, sing without you. Without you, Jesus. Have your way. What we done in my life, God. If it's not pleasing to you, take it out of me. If it's not pleasing to you, take it out of me. If it's not pleasing to you, take it out of me. Have your way. God, this a heart's desire. Time help me sing. If it's not pleasing to you, take it out of me. Yeah. If it's not pleasing to you, take it out of me. Yeah. If it's not pleasing to you, God, take it out of me. Have your way. We cry out, take it out of me. Lord, I'm ready. Take it out of me. God, if it's not pleasing, take it out of me. Have your way. Father, this is our heart's cry.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Mother Georgia, she's back on live, the historic 980 WDDO.
I hear something.
Let's go live into the studio with our host, Brenda.
Somebody's. Hello.
Hey.
Somebody's got some feedback going on. Mr. Williams, can I look at your phone?
I don't have my phone.
Oh, somebody had it on.
I think it's you.
No, it wasn't me because I had my stuff turned off like on silent.
You
something's
just
definitely
acting
going on.
paranoid.
Huh?
You just acting paranoid.
Now, I think it was yours, Mr. Williams. I really do.
My phone is in the car.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Yeah. Your phone's in the car.
Right. So you needed some engineering, and I thank you,
There you
Mr.
go.
Jackson, for giving her some engineering.
We just have to pray for Brand.
You need some inner engineering.
See, Mr. Williams, we let Mr. Williams come on every now and then. We don't let him come on all the time because
Actually, you drafted me today, if you recall.
why? Why would I do such a thing, Mr. Williams?
That's the way you are. But anyway, I'm glad to be here because I'm not going to let Emily and you talk about Dr. Do wrong the way y'all been doing.
Oh, we don't listen.
In his absence.
We're going to wear him out.
I'm here to protect his interest.
See, I be having your back all the time. When you ain't here and Brand be coming for you, I always have your back, Big
Yes,
Hen.
you do. Yes, you do.
So you got to be on my side today now.
I give you that.
Why don't y'all like us on Facebook and share us?
Please do.
Please do, because Henry just be raising.
Because I need you to approve my presence
and your money
and my sponsorship.
Absolutely,
right.
Because I told y'all last week that Big Hen's gonna be opening the Macon office.
Yes, which we're excited about that.
Yeah. He'll do a little divorce, some speeding tickets and stuff. No DUIs, so don't y'all get none during the holiday. Cause the only somebody to go pick you up would be Leon Jones. Leon Jones pick up everybody during the holidays. He does that. He just
that's nice. Yeah,
he really is. He really is a nice guy. Mr. Williams know I done brought about 5 jokes with me today. You know that.
Oh God, Joe.
She been after me all day.
Why?
I don't know why I have to put up with this harassment. I really don't.
Because I don't know what I'm getting for Christmas.
You're not supposed to know.
Well, I don't even know if I'm getting a present for Christmas.
But you said you don't want one. Remember?
Oh.
Yeah.
Last time she asked me, I told her she's getting a ring. She said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, as soon as I get out of this tub for my bath."
Surprise! Just for you, baby.
Oh boy, he got jokes. He got jokes, don't he?
Well, we do want to thank Henry Big Hen for sponsoring our show. Attorney Henry E. Williams, H Williams at henrywilliamslaw.com. So we want to thank him for sponsoring
we do. And we all in the Christmas spirit. But I've got some real interesting thoughts on Christmas. They probably throw us off the air if I really put them out there like that. But
so let's not
moderate.
Let's not moderate the Christmas thing.
No, I want you to moderate.
You know what? I really toyed with what Christmas was, because Christmas ain't this big jolly holiday for everybody. And, and people are like, oh, wow, we're going to have this really, wonderful celebration and stuff. And it ain't celebratory for everybody now. It's just not. So, but I kind of wanted to throw out a little something because, and by the way, let me just go ahead and say this. I want to ask everybody for prayer. We lost somebody in our family this past week.
Yeah,
colon cancer.
He was a good guy too.
He was so sweet. Cecil Hawkins. So I want y'all to keep our family up in prayer. And I know a lot of people out there losing family members and things like that. And really, while I joke and carry on, I really understand what it's like to lose somebody that you love, and then you get ready for this big celebration on Christmas or during that time, and that chair is empty. And so sometimes we can get so caught up in all of the festivities and we forget about the people who are really, going through. So I would ask you to, if it's somebody out there that that don't have anybody per se, call them on telephone. Invite them over to the house.
Yes.
Do those kinds of things, like Henry's cousin, be sure and invite.
See.
Why don't you take and put Henry's cousin up there so we can see Henry's cousin? Henry,
Mr. Jackson, you don't have to listen to her.
Mr. Jackson, no, he got to do his job. Mr. Jackson, you need to take and put Henry's cousin over there because Henry need to invite his cousin over to the house.
Oh, wow.
See, I'm gonna pull the Jerry Jones on you because I'm the sponsor.
What's that mean?
I'm gonna commandeer your decision.
Commandeer my decision.
That's
What that
correct.
mean? What kind of big word you
Take
use?
over.
Look, take up right.
He use a big word on me.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, and the outfit. All right. Is that matching shoes? Wow.
Tell Mr. Jackson I owe him one.
Look at him. Henry, you know you just upset because you don't want your cousin to come over there and scratch up the floor. You know, because we got
Look, my question is, Henry, do you have one of those outfits?
Yeah, with the shoes now.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I've never seen one of those outfits.
Okay, very good.
He just mad. He just mad because you know that's how your cousin be when he come over to the house. You know that's what he do, and he having them shoes too, and those are specialty shoes, honey.
Yeah, I noticed.
I wonder how much that outfit costs. I mean, to get the matching shoes, it
I'm
had
trying
to
to-
be. I have no words.
I'm just saying.
Is this
Mr.
really your cousin?
No, Brenda is just coming after me today.
Oh, okay.
Well,
You're gonna leave Henry alone. That's what you're gonna
okay,
do.
Mr. Williams, we got to leave Henry alone. But you know that is your cousin.
Right, I got you.
But he don't think it's funny. He mad at me. Is he mad at me?
No,
Henry?
he ain't. Henry can't get mad. He doesn't get mad. He's sweet.
You're so nice, honey.
No, I don't get mad. I get even.
Well, Henry, you don't know how to get even.
I don't. You always outdo me. I give you that.
You can look at his face and tell him, man, look at his face. Look at his face. It's like all twisted.
No, Henry's smiling. He all right.
Henry ain't smiling. Oh, he's
Yes, he is.
forcing a smile.
Oh, even if you got me, I wouldn't give you the pleasure of knowing.
Well, you know what? I just kind of wanted to, we want to talk a little bit about Christmas and Christmas traditions and things like that. And
All right, you can get rid of Rainbow Bright now, Mr. Jackson.
Rainbow Bright.
That's a good name. That's a good name.
You know what, though? I want to talk a little bit about Christmas traditions, but I really wanted to just kind of touch on, the things that people bring in from, it's some real selfish people out there for Christmas now.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
Actually, all year long, but Christmas exacerbates it. That brings out the worst in the worst time.
you know what? You would think it would bring out the best in the best of times.
Right? No, but it doesn't.
So what do you mean? Like Christmas brings out the worst in people? What do you
We
mean?
got some people that, it ain't all about the turkey and the dressing and all of that. It ain't all about that. It's about what can they get.
Yeah.
And let me make sure that I make your life miserable if I don't get what I want to get.
You take, for example, if you give an event right now, half of the people that are going to be there will find something wrong to criticize, unhappy about
Yeah.
the circumstances, the situation.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me I took all my time to come over here and this is all that they serving? Didn't bring anything, but they want to know whether you have takeout if the food is good.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I know people like that, and that eats me up to my core. I'm like, just be thankful, be blessed for what the situation is, be thankful and be blessed that you got a plate of food and just move on. I personally know people that can find something wrong in any given situation, and especially at Christmas time, especially during the holidays. And it's like, do you just insist on being negative about everything? Like, are you ever happy?
I started, I said, we should have this jingle jangle show. You know what I mean? Just did a jingle jangle, and all of that. And I thought, you know what? We agents of truth. We talk about what's real.
Right.
And what's real is that everybody don't do that. And everybody's Christmas ain't ho and merry bright and everything like that. I was like, I started thinking about it. I said, you just fret and things like that. You go into the house, you look at the food, you talk about, we talked about bad food before, that, but I'm just talking about, you right, Henry, the ones that they can't do nothing right.
Right.
Oh, we got Anthony. Hey, Anthony.
What's up, Anthony?
He's one of our loyal followers and listeners.
That's tremendous, Anthony.
Ebenezer, Scrooges, straight up Scrooge. And then they walk in the house, and y'all don't know nothing about this, but I do be drinking wine and stuff. I mean, I don't mind. I'm a Methodist. Methodists and Catholics drink wine. I'm just telling you. They drink up all of it. They don't leave till they done sucked it all down. Come on now, Henry.
That's true.
But you Baptists, y'all don't do that. Y'all hide y'all's, but the Methodists and the Catholics, we put ours right out there.
We drank grape juice.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you tell them. Behind the bourbon, right? But it is. And I kind of wanted to bring it out because I was like, so many people are going through dealing with crazy during the holidays. Mm-hmm. And mentally ill, I shouldn't say crazy, but mentally ill kinds of behaviors and things like that. And, here you go, Henry. You didn't get me the kind of present I wanted for Christmas.
Right.
And, Emily, come on now.
And some people want to know that you keep the receipt.
What?
Keep the receipt. I have never, ever, ever did that to somebody that gave me a gift, even if it was a horrible gift or if it was something I didn't like. I have never said that or treated. So I just keep it. Sometimes I'll re-gift it or I'll just keep it. Like I have never been ungrateful for anything.
Me either.
Anybody. That is the weirdest thing. I'm like, to me, it's just embarrassing that somebody would take their time, buy you something or gift you something. And you say, well, I don't like that. I don't want that. Why did you get me that? It's like, that's, I guess, just who I am as a person. I would never, ever do that to somebody. Because I figure if anybody takes the time to give you something, you should be appreciative. Period.
But what you're doing is not really listening because they say to you, oh, you shouldn't have. And they really mean it.
My goodness.
And they do. And then, now if you my mom want money. My mom just wants something green, okay? And Kenny, what they said, they want a wet card.
That's what my mama used to call it, a wet card. My mama would look at the card, she says, is it dry or wet? And I'd have to joke her, Mama, it's a wet card, and let her open it. And she told me, that's dry. You get it out of here. And then I'd give her the wet part later.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But that's how she saw it.
That's it. Wow. And my mama want a wet card without the card.
She don't even want the card.
She don't even want the card. What you waste your money on that for? Yeah. You could have gave that to me.
Wow.
Child, my mama want wet. She want wet. She don't want card. She just want wet.
I don't forget, when my mother learned how to look at the back of the card and find out what it cost.
How much it cost.
that really became funny because she didn't know what the number behind on the back of the card meant. And when she found it out, she said, you paid this much for that. I'm like, okay.
But it was the kind word. They don't read the word. And let me just say, how many people out there read the words on a Christmas card? Come on.
You know what? My husband, it does drive me nuts. He will open up he calls it the reading of the cards. Like if you give him a card, he wants to open it. He wants everybody to sit down and be quiet. And he wants to read the card. And I know that sounds terrible, but I can't stand it. I'm like, babe, just read it on your own time. He's like, no,
that's
somebody
sacred.
picked that out for me, and I want to read it.
I agree with him.
I've gotten used to it now, but oh my God, I just be like,
that's sacred.
And so, and in fact, I kind of tore it around. I was going to send out cards to you. Y'all know my leg and stuff hurt. And then Henry keep kicking me in my leg and stuff and keep making my leg hurt. So I thought,
I know why your leg hurting, but anyway, what was you saying?
My leg hurt because my leg hurt.
Okay.
But at any rate, I was just, I started sending out Christmas cards, and I think that I will do that next year. I would do a combination. I'll create my own with a Christmas and Kwanzaa.
Well, I did a digital one this year. Actually, I got to send it out in a couple of days. I normally send it out a day or two before Christmas. He said, really? But I send out a digital one. It's just easier. Like I send my aunt, I put our little happy holidays and then I put our family card and I just send it out through text or, the actual picture itself. Cause, putting it in the mail and doing all of that, everybody's digital now anyway. So they just open it up.
I think that's a nice thing.
Well, let me just say this, and I'm going to defend the folks that are victim to this. Do not include my name in a group Christmas greeting.
That's
the worst thing you could do to me.
Yes.
I remember when I first fell for that, and I'm said, thank you. And I got about a dozen, who the H is this? And I'm like, I just wanted to say thank you. Did not understand I made a mistake, and boy, I paid for that. And I thought, I do not want ever that again.
Well, that group, and I'm guilty of sending out group texts. I am.
Brenda, the queen of that. I'll be like, Brenda, it is 2021. Can we stop with the group text? Like,
right.
Now I'm the one, I will respond in a group text, but it aggravates the living daylights out of me. And my husband, he hates it as well. He hates group text. I think most people, generally speaking, unless it's somebody, like I have group chats with my brother and his wife, like when we, because we talk to each other.
That's fine.
So
but everybody know everybody within the group that you're texting.
Right. Yeah.
My concern is when you're sending it to a dozen people and half of them don't know the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it becomes problematic.
You know what? He is absolutely correct. Read what Anthony just said.
Anthony said, this time was supposed to represent the spirit of giving and kinship, but the materialistic elements became the driving force of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Black Friday, Cyber Monday, flash sales make a person feel inadequate when they can't financially participate.
That's right. And that is that's the ticket right there. I think it's so financial, the Christmas part. And what for the people who are celebrating the birth of Christ and the spirit of giving and stuff like that, I'm just wondering, just how much of that are we giving to celebrate the birth of Christ and rather than self-grandizement, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To make ourselves feel good because we're doing all these wonderful and great things. I mean, I don't really know how to put that. You know what I mean?
I'm torn on both ends. I'm a business owner, right? And so I look forward to the holidays because, people come in, they spend more money, they're shopping for gifts.
Right.
But on the other hand, I also feel like, Christmas has become overly commercialized and pushed and we go out. I don't in particular, but most people go out and spend thousands of dollars during the holiday season. And so I'm often torn because I want you to come in my store and spend money in my store, but I also feel like we do a lot, do too much rather during the holiday season, and it has definitely become massively commercialized.
Well, there's nothing wrong with intelligent self-interest. I mean, you want your business to thrive this time of the year. Now, you take, for example, for me, the bigger the Christmas, the better February and March is going to be for my business. That's when the divorces go up. When the deals come in, and the fight is out about it. So the divorce rate will pick up in February and March and April next year.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, what's up?
All right, how y'all doing?
Hey, Dr. Do Right.
No,
I said Dr. Do Right.
He wrong.
Hey, Big Hen.
Yeah.
I caught the tail end of what you were saying. When Christmas comes, and everybody's thinking if one party, the only thing that Christmas means to them is being emotional, and if they don't get the gift they wanted, then they're going to be angry, and then they're going to get divorces, and they're going to leave their people. Because if they don't go at Christmas for the practical reasons, right? That it is spiritual. That's the practical reason. And then they go for emotionality. What did I get? What are you going to get me? If you didn't get me but this, then their emotions are hurt. And then they get divorces. And then they make Brenda have a new trip to take.
But the thing about it though, Johnny, that's real talk, because what I find in people, you ask what they'll go start, they give you a long laundry list of what they want for Christmas. I would tell you that I don't ask Henry for nothing for Christmas. I know y'all gonna say, well, Brenda, he bought you a house. He did, but even when we didn't have that, I didn't want him to buy me anything because why? I don't believe in exchanging gifts at Christmas time simply because.
But you'll take them any other time. So you'll take them on Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas, just not on Christmas Day.
Just not on Christmas Day.
You know what? I can't stand you.
I'll take mine on Christmas. I mean, it's 2 days. It's important to me. That's my birthday, and that is our anniversary. As long as he does well on those two days, I'm fine.
I agree with you on that. I'm definitely a birthday, definitely an anniversary. Like, you got to show out on my birthday. You got to show out on the anniversary. Right. Anything else, like, some people are big on Valentine's Day. I'm like, I can take it or leave it. It's like whatever.
And this is about kinship. This is about, Christmas time to me is about love. It's about all of those things and the celebration of Christ. And the birth of Christ. So there is some science behind that. I won't go into that on this Christian radio show. But
no, I don't want you to do that.
I ain't gonna do it. I promise I wasn't gonna do it. But I am gonna say this. I think there's too much focus on, as Johnny said, the emotional part of Christmas.
Yep.
What do you mean by emotional part of Christmas?
Because there are so many people, really, Emily, you think about it. If the kids don't get what they want, they show out. If the grown people don't get what they want, they show out. And then I thought about it. How much food is thrown away?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I mean when I say the emotional part, because they're not anticipating Christmas because it was the birth of Christ. They're anticipating Christmas because of what they talk about, how they feel at Christmas time. Right. They talk about what they get at Christmas time. They're not about the love and the joy to the world. They're about Christmas time. I just feel so good around Christmas. Them when they put the lights up and and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what they're into Christmas for how it makes them feel.
When I was growing up in Becker County, and Brenda, don't come after me about Becker County. People were more honest about their greetings. They during this time of the year, they greet each other, not "Hello, how you doing?" Christmas give. That's what they say to one another.
Yeah.
I'm not that way. I think because as children we were poor, right? So we never got what we wanted for Christmas. It was just whatever our parents could afford to give us. So as I got older, it was, for me, the focus was never on the gift because we never really got anything, or when we did, it wasn't what we wanted.
Right.
And so what the holidays and it means to me, or the important part to me, was always getting with my cousins and getting to see my entire family. Like, that was a highlight of the holidays for me, because like I said, we never really got what we wanted anyway. We just knew that was the opportunity. We could go over to our cousin, my aunt's house, and we would run and play all day, come in and eat, and then go back outside and run and play. And that's all we cared about. And so as I got older, that part of Christmas was never, like you say, some people get mad when they don't get what they want. Right. And I've never been that way. It's just like, if I get it, great. If I don't, my husband asks me all the time, what do you want for Christmas? I'll be like, I don't know, whatever. Just you think of something. I don't really know.
Well, you know what though, Emily, I would have to say that because and I was the only girl out of 4 boys. My daddy had that barbershop on Poplar Street, 410 Poplar Street, Sutton Beauty Barbershop. I got everything I wanted for Christmas. I can't think of one Christmas that I didn't get,
Oh, well, you was blessed then.
That's wonderful. When I think about, and that's what I'm saying. I was blessed. I grew up, we weren't rich, but I think it was because I was the only girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that meant something.
And my little Miss Echo doll and my banana seat bicycle and my Union 5 skates. And for the people out there, y'all know what Union 5 or skates are. Those are one that clip on to your shoes. And you had that skate.
Yeah.
You remember them, Johnny?
Absolutely.
Did you have some, or did you have the pipe skates?
No, we had some of those, and We used to make skates too, make skateboards. When the skate broke, you took the wheels off, put it on a piece of wood and made a skateboard and kept it moving.
You know what? And we were ingenious about that. And I took and I put a thing. And now this one thing, I didn't know anything about a Christmas stocking because we had a box. We had a shoe box. And the people at the church used to give us a brown paper bag. I'm trying to tell y'all, you don't know nothing about
my grandfather did the brown paper bag, and he would fill it with oranges and apples and pecans and peppermint and candy sticks. And that's what he gave out every year to all of the his church members, was the bags of goodies like that. And that's what my grandfather gave out every year.
Oh yeah, that was the bomb. Somebody's trying to call us on the phone. Call her.
I think they hung up.
But did you get the bag too, Henry?
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Henry got a lump of coal.
But it was the only time of the year that we just got oranges, and they get this candy wrapped in plastic, and it was like several sticks of candy. It was not the Bob's candy, which was the original striped candy. It was the cheap kind that melted in your hand, not in your mouth. It came like 20 pieces wrapped in this plastic.
Yeah. But you know what too? Also that was a time, like the little things, like you were saying, when you said we got the oranges, right? Yeah. It immediately made me think about that was probably the only time of year that my cousins and I, my brothers and all, would take a piece of peppermint and put a hole in the orange and stick the candy inside the orange. Right. That was like a tradition at Christmas. For some reason we wouldn't do that any other time of the year except then. It was oranges, and the peppermint candy was in such abundance. So
and the way that tied into the day's subject, it was the little things.
Yeah. My brother just said pickles for us. Yeah.
It was the little things that we gave thanks for. Is what I'm alluding to. It wasn't
the moral standing of the world.
It was like we were so happy.
Yeah.
But because that would be the only time my daddy would be off, because my daddy didn't know what being off was, because he was a business owner for all those out there entrepreneurs. If you don't work, you don't eat.
That's it.
And I try to tell them, I'm saying that about my husband. If my husband don't work, we don't eat. And so, holidays is like a rest day for him because he'd be so tired, from where he'd be working and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just so glad that, my mama would stay up all night cooking cakes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that. John, did your mama cook a lot of cakes?
Not a lot of cakes, but we would eat well.
I ain't lying. Boy, did we eat.
He was the one that used to always get a whooping because he'd come and stick his finger in the cake or try to lick the ice and steal a piece and run.
Yeah.
And then I got such a big family of cousins.
So I knew Emily was going to slip and come after you.
Yeah. See, that was just, we had so many cousins, and I had so many of them that were around my age. And, I got a really large family. And so it would be, everybody would be cooking, and everybody would run to each other's house and eat until when we ate up everything at my house, we went to somebody else's house.
Yes, we did. We did the same thing. Did you, Emily?
No, everybody came. We had a large family, but everybody all came over to my aunt's house. Once my grandparents got like too old to actually host it at their house, we kind of transitioned over to my Aunt Mary's house, and we all went over there. Everybody ate over there. And she was really funny. Like, she didn't want you to bring anything. Like, she did everything. She cooked all the food. She made all the cakes, the pies. She did it all. She didn't want you to bring nothing, but she always had enough for everybody. And I mean, it was always enough.
And when I think about my mom, I think about my mother used to make, I don't know anybody, buttermilk pie. Jenny, y'all know about a buttermilk pie?
I think I remember.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm thinking about? Chess pie, not buttermilk.
Well, chess pie is like a buttermilk pie.
See, my mother did a lot of baking, but it was not for our immediate family. She baked for everybody else that wanted. And so they got all the result of the baking, and all we got was to lick the pan with.
Oh, that was
good enough.
It was good.
Yeah, that was the best.
The egg beaters. We used to fight over the egg beaters.
Yes, that was a real fight.
I just want to revisit something. Emily has alluded to the fact that they were so poor when they were growing up, a couple of times here. But then she started talking about they would go to this aunt's house and this aunt's house. See, everybody in my family at that time had apartments.
I said one house.
Houses. There were no houses for us to go to.
See, and our family couldn't agree to meet at all houses. My aunt had one house. And listen, she and her husband built that house with their bare hands.
You just said a moment ago you went to one aunt's house, then you went to the next aunt's house.
Yeah, different cousins' houses.
By the way,
see, we did not have houses in our family back then.
do I really have to be that specific? We lived in an apartment. We went over to my aunt's house since we got to be specific.
But the thing about it, it's a whole different flavor, and perhaps it's because we've gotten grown or whatever. But when I think about the holidays, I think about just especially as a kid, the kind of things that made I can't ever remember us getting mad. Now maybe folk did, but I can't remember us ever getting mad because we didn't get what we wanted. We were glad to just get what we got.
That's interesting because I'm the opposite. I got mad because folks came and got the best, and as a child I got what was left. You're curious as to why I don't welcome a lot of guests.
Sure is.
Now you love to give these events. And she wants me to be excited about these folks coming, and
you should be excited when I'm coming over, Henry.
Oh, I'm excited when you coming, but I'm saying, that brings back.
I didn't know that
the company coming and getting all the pies, and I get the crumbs.
But
I'm not going to be excited about that.
And you know what?
It
was like that for you too, Johnny.
It could be like that. But then you realize on my side, but when you go over to their house, you get to eat up all that stuff. And then my cousins have their lips poked out because their mom was going to make sure their nieces and nephews got treated right. You know what I mean?
That's interesting because my mama wouldn't let us eat at other folks' house.
That's right.
If somebody offered to them, you better look at mama first.
Right.
And read that look.
Yeah. Go ahead, baby.
Right.
But you know what though? It's interesting. It's interesting. Now, my mother, and this is just kind of off subject, but my mother said though, when she was growing up, that they used to always, my great granddaddy, Reverend Carlos Mathis May used to have in the Amy church. Used to always had the people over,
right?
And they would eat up all the food from the children. And Mama said one of them said he would just I wish I had two stomachs. So he would eat up all the food from the children,
right?
And so to this day, and you're right. To this day, my mother really always feed her children first. She don't care where she is. She don't care what kind of event. She says she always feed her kids because as a child, she grew up.
I admired that when you told me that.
Oh, yeah. And so, but now I don't know if you noticed, Henry, but whenever we went out yesterday out to visit my cousin, I went right in. I said, honey, you want me to fix your plate before everybody else got their food. I would have got because Henry funny, and I am too. He don't want everybody's hand all over his food.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so I went to fix his plate first. No offense. I go
hungry before I do it.
And
let me ask y'all this is a question. Now, when my grandmother passed away,
right?
It's like our family went. The dynamic of the holidays just like went awry, and like Anthony was saying. Like everything, the jealousy, everything came out.
Talk about it.
They started fighting over whose house Christmas was gonna be at, and how come it always got to be over here? Now, when my grandmother was still living,
I raised my hand on that one. Yep.
Yeah, and it's like when my grandmother was still living, there was never an argument. We always had it at my Aunt Mary's house. That was just the way it was. And for whatever reason, it was like when she passed away. the family literally split and divided. So one half went to this aunt's house, the other half went to the other aunt's house, and it almost like to this day, our family has never been the same. Like the cousins, are bicker amongst themselves. The aunts and uncles still have this underlying tension and this energy, and it almost ruined. It ruined the holidays for a lot of us. And it's funny because it has trickled over into my immediate family now. And although we don't argue about whose house it's going to be at, we just don't really get together. We just kind of have, we do what we're going to do at my house. My sister does what she's going to do at her house. My brother does what he's going to do at his house, or vice versa. Right. And so have any of you guys experienced that when your grandmother passed away or the matriarch passes away?
When the matriarch passed, who was the magnet of the family.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
And then not only that, and then you have that one who think that they are the queen bee. Mm-hmm. You always got one. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you can't cook. So I don't know why you want to be
Brenda.
queen bee.
She just has to go there.
She's so petty.
I'm trying to tell you, you go in the house and you smell something when they call themselves cooking chitlins and stuff, and you don't want to eat nothing. I'm just simply saying that, you have all that, and it hurts. Mm-hmm. Now, this year, I'm going to try to have an event at the house. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm keep us in prayer. I'm not trying to take the place of Big Mama, because Big Mama gone. Big Mama been gone since 1980, and but I'm trying. And so now I know that Henry has told me that I better make sure the caterer fix his plate. Because if he have to wait on his plate, Henry not going to do well.
You did forget him. What event was that? You did forget to feed him that time. When? And Henry blood sugar had dropped. Where was that? I went and fixed you a plate of food. And Henry was just looking there staring, and he was sweating. No, I think it was Raymond. Raymond went and fixed you something to eat.
He sure did. I remember that.
I don't even remember where we were.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I forget.
But Brenda was off doing what she do best, talking.
Yeah, running them out.
And I said, Henry looked funny. And Raymond said, let me go check on him. And his blood sugar had dropped.
Well, I'm glad that, that's one reason why you need to tell folk, certain things so that, so that the army, so the village can look out for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what I'm going to say about this family thing is that it's very, very challenging. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how it's going to work out, but one of the things I want to say, I've invited extended family. Mm-hmm. Because my extended family is just as important as my blood family. And I think that's a dynamic that's changing during the holidays too, coming up in this new generation. Emily, I don't think you can no longer count on your blood family. You got to count on the family. That's family. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen,
I'm talking about
you're gonna make me shout. Listen, you have said the word. You have preached the gospel truth, because your family, you feel like you should be able to count on your family when you can't count on nobody else. You should be able to look to your family, but I don't know what's happening. It's a shift happening, an energy shift, and your family is almost just like somebody on the street. Yeah. They treat you just like people on the street, and I get more response and more help and more feedback from people that are not directly related to me.
Right. It's crazy. And some of the sweetest people, I'm gonna, and some of the sweetest people that have helped me while I was ill. Okay.
Right. Anthony says some of them. Right. Some of them.
Some of the people that have been there, come to the house sick. Henry, I tell you, she come there sick, hopping.
Sure did.
Come there hopping with a cold.
I know you're talking about.
And don't want not one penny. Mm-hmm. Not one penny. Just because she feels connected to me as a family, and I feel connected to her as a family. So I've learned, and I'm going to say this to the people out here. I've learned, don't just depend on them ones that claim to be blood, because them blood is one of the ones that's real, real petty. Mm-hmm. Invite people over who love you.
You know what?
Life has taught me, that phrase, blood is thicker than water. Mm-hmm. That's true regardless of how that's meant. Because if the blood is thick, it doesn't flow, does it?
Correct.
And some of those that are blood related to you, the blood doesn't flow when it comes to you.
That's true. I like that, Henry. You're right.
It thickens up more.
Right.
I'd rather the water that would flow, at least it would move it about. And those friends
and flow in my direction.
That's it. That's it.
You know,
so then it becomes about the spirit, and it becomes about we are all brothers and sisters.
Right.
But I wanted to touch on, like, when you were talking about the breakdowns of families and how if one passes or the grandma dies and stuff. What I used to notice was, just almost in generality in our African American community, was that, okay, so grandma died, right? Mm-hmm. And whoever was the oldest child, maybe the third youngest child had the better job in the house, but whoever was the oldest child, whoever was the eldest child, that's where the Christmas celebration started at. Now, they might not stay over there long, but they all honored the chronological order of things. And so when we lost that in our African American community, that's when I think that was a great breakdown, because that's why now children don't respect elders, not for what they've got or what they've achieved in life, but because of who they are. And then that's why we are really not supposed to be honoring God and Jesus because of what they've done for us. It's supposed to be because of who they are. And so when we lost that in our lives, that began, because really we can't really get to the causes of a lot of these things. We can only discuss symptoms, because that's what we're basically discussing, are symptoms. But I think one of the main ingredients as a cause was when we stopped following the main order of things. You know, dad, mom, then in the household, and then it was the eldest boy or the eldest girl. Whoever was oldest was next in line with being in charge. But now it's not like that anymore in the households, and then it's spewed out into society as well. And it has a lot to do with our breakdown.
It does.
That's a good insight.
That's a good insight. And I think I'm just going through, for the Christmas holidays, people have such high expectations. See, and I think it was Anthony was talking about, here he is, they don't judge.
He said extended family can be genuine because they don't judge where your family does.
They don't. They don't. You have somebody come over, our neighbors and stuff have been so kind to us. They're just as non-judgmental as they can be.
Okay, Anthony said that was our case, but the others fought against it until it broke indefinitely. Now our generation is left to deal with how to repair it for our families and children. So so that's kind of what we're in the process of doing now, because my mother's generation, my aunts and uncles, the ones that are still living, because they were never able to bring it and pull it back together. Now there's a whole generation below us, like our children's children. They don't know each other. Like there's a whole, like, I'm the youngest of the older set of grandchildren. I'm the youngest. And then there was like a 5 or 6 year break. And then there were a bunch of other cousins that were born. And so we were able to like, we grew up together, me being the youngest and all the way up to my oldest brother. My brother is the oldest grandchild. And so everybody in between, we grew up together. But the younger ones, we don't know anything about the younger ones, because by the time they were born, the family was just, in disarray. So it's like, we know that cousin is there, but we don't know anything about them. And then those cousins have started having children of their own. So we just like, and what in the world?
Now, I started, before I married Henry, I started doing a Christmas breakfast, because I found that people don't really like to, eat. They don't really like to cook breakfast. So I thought, man, I cook breakfast from 9 to 12. And then, I feed, give everybody this food, and then they can go on and I have the rest of the day, do whatever. But this is my first time doing something, I say, from 2 to 5. And I'm going to do it from 2 to 5. I'm going to start on time. I'm going to end on time. But this is the first time that I have really started trying to pull the family together. And I'm surprised in a good way that the support that I've gotten from my family of people that are coming. I think I'm going to be pleasantly surprised.
I may come. Who cooking the food?
Chef Reese.
Oh,
Chef Reese, we have
we've already done what you call that. I call it sampling.
Yeah, we've
So
done.
what you call
So
it?
y'all did a tasting.
We did a tasting.
Okay.
And
It was exceptional.
It was
okay. Seafood. You don't do seafood though, do
Of course I did.
Oh, we were having seafood Alfredo, roasted vegetables, some chicken, some type of chicken Alfredo, seafood Alfredo, salad, a cheese and fruit thing, and then some tea. And then we're going to have a dessert table, and I'm probably going to make some sort of soup.
Okay.
And, and so and this is for my mom. For those, that have family in the nursing home, I did not realize that you could bring them out. So they said that I could bring mama out. And,
so we're making arrangements.
Leroy Gerald, for those who know, Leroy Gerald out. He has an ambulance company. He drives for one. So he was kind enough that we were able to contract with him to go to the nursing home and pick mama up.
Cool.
And so he was so delighted to do it.
He was so delighted to do it. And so he's picking her up and he's bringing her.
He's a good guy.
He's a
good guy.
And I'm going to be good to him for doing it.
And I tell you what, and Chef Reese is a young brother. And, I hadn't heard of him. Chef Greasley is my cousin, and she's in Atlanta cooking, and he came out there in the rain. Do you hear me? Pouring down rain.
Yeah, after all day event he had in Atlanta.
He came, he drove over, young brother. I guess about 27 years old.
And it was hot when he got there.
And he brought that food over, and look here, homeboy had his contract.
Oh, he was
ready.
I love it.
I love it. And I'm saying that to say that I'm trying to bring us together as a family. My grandsons are coming. Boy, I'm so excited. I haven't seen, some of them in a while.
And you better behave yourself, bad grandma.
Oh, man, you know what? I'm trying to.
Thank you, Emily.
Henry has said I can't cook any cakes. I don't.
Right, because you the grandma that'll get a baby about 3-4 pieces of cake. And after the mom told you they can't have no cake until they have dinner, you done snuck them cake in there in the game room.
Especially if she cooked.
Yeah. I am, and I'm fixing up the game room too.
She talk about I am.
And I got the game room. I done already got their beverage cooler down there. I got it tested out so I can go about them 24. I want them to drink till they bounce off the wall. I just want to just drink a minute.
See, that's why I can't. Oh, Brenda. Just a bad grandma.
I sure am. I want them to just drink. I just want them to drink till their stomach hurt.
See, with Brenda, I have to pick my battles. I'll let her have it her way until I have to step in and say no.
Until them kids tan up your. Anthony said, at least she owns it.
And look here. And when they leave on Christmas, I got my other grandchildren coming in from New Orleans, and I'm gonna definitely. I got one little bitty one. Little bitty one up there. I'm just a spoiler ride.
Oh Lord, she used to spoil Jimmy. Every time she see Jimmy, she get Jimmy a $20 bill talking about go get you something to eat. I be like, he can get me and him something to eat. Like, how long? And Jim be like, oh, man, Brenda gave me $20. Can I go to the Rookery and get me a burger? Get me one too.
You know what though? I own it, and there's a lot of bad grandmamas out there. But you know the thing about it though, for Christmas and during the holidays, it's about an opportunity to make memories. And I'm saying that because it's a lot of folk that how the memory they got for the holiday ain't too nice, Emily.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're dealing with.
But see, that's a. Johnny was talking about the generational changes, and that's one of the generational changes. When I was on the bench, I wanted to put grandmas in jail rather than in jail. Because the grandma was the one that created the atmosphere for the grandchild to violate the law. That dynamic has changed. It used to be when I first got on the bench, I would sentence a child to go live with his grandma because I knew that would be worse than put them in jail.
That's the discipline. Yeah.
But I had to change that. I had to change.
Well, I would have to say that even though I'm that really sweet grandma, but I'm a strict grandma now. I mean, when it comes to them doing stuff they ain't got no business doing. Now, Henry, I can't say how I talk to them grandchildren, but I'm rough to them grandchildren.
Yeah.
I don't play with them. And they have
she Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. On 1 minute she'll give them all lollipops and a Coca-Cola and a slice of cake, and then 2 seconds later she'd be hollering at them. They'd be like,
but I'm just saying, for the Christmas, one of them already told me, Grandma, I'll be over there, and whatever you want me to do, all the boxes you and Pops, they call Henry Pops, with all the boxes you want me and Pops to do. I mean, you want us to do, we are moving for you and Pops, whatever y'all want. I said, they think they're getting jet skis. That's what that is. Right, because you spoil them. That's what it is. They know that crumble gonna be nice. Crumble gonna be nice. They think they're gonna be on a boat or something like that. They don't know that they don't know they need to learn how to swim, do they, baby?
Well, no,
they're gonna be out there in the lake.
I'm gonna accommodate them too.
But
that's right.
Now, I'm just saying that, for us, my listening audience, I know we're talking smack today, and I just didn't want to make it too serious, because I know sometimes, they'll say, look at them, they just bummers, they're just all real negative and stuff like that. No, that's not what I'm going with it. I just want us to understand, out there, that it ain't happy for everybody. I want you to know that, we got to lift these families up in prayer, because we got some people in these families who just forgot what their role is. Emily, I mean, they just don't remember. I don't know. And it's not because, and let me just say, it's not because they weren't taught. That's the thing, because that group that came before them was a good group. Especially like me and him. My mama was born 34. When was your mama born here?
19.
Mama was born 1919. Mama was born Mama was born 1934. I'm just wondering whether or not.
Anthony said, grandchildren don't know that grandma is mean. Our people should at the very least know how their grandparents played a role in their lives. Christmas gathering was where we learned that lesson.
And what?
Absolutely.
Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
Did your family get together and sing gospels?
Of course they did.
Man, my family used to get together. My Uncle Mitch, they used to sing that song, and Henry and I would talk about it. Maybe the last time. It may be the last time. I don't know.
My grandmother would sing that song religiously.
This may be the last time. This may be the last time. It may be the last time. I don't know.
You better sing that thing.
I'm trying to.
Right.
And we used to sing it every time we would have prayer, because we would have, the family prayer. And my Uncle Charlie and them used to sing, quartet, and they would tear that thing up.
Love that.
And those are the things that we miss.
Yeah. Church.
Yeah, we miss that though. You know what I'm saying, Emily? And that's what the children are not getting that. And it wasn't, and they would moan and groan and they would sing those songs. And that was what brought us through.
That's right.
And it wasn't the stuff that we got for Christmas. It wasn't that. It was what was put in our hearts, what was fed into our spirits and our souls, and made us the kind of people that we are. And that's what's missing.
Yeah. And these generations, even with my son, he's about to be 23, and it's so hard to get them to focus on like the family aspect of Christmas. And my son's an only child, so it's kind of hard when they're only children to get them to understand. But I know that I was talking to one of his friends recently, and she said that Christmas was just, an time of year, and she's young. For her, and she said because her father just made it so bad for her when she was younger, she doesn't like that time of year anymore. And I was like, wow, you're so young, you don't have any children. I'm like, I pray that maybe I can do something for you to help you get out of that mindset, or help you see the holidays in a different light, so that it won't be such a negative time of year for you. And I was like, I really pray that for you, that you get rid of that energy that's surrounded. But it's a lot of younger people that don't care about the holidays. And like for me, again, it was all about family, being around my family, spending time with my family. I loved my grandfather. And you know, for us, it wasn't big, lavish gifts. He would line us all up because there was so many of us. He just got to the point where he couldn't gift everybody. And once it started getting, 14, 15 of us, he'd line us all up, from the oldest to the youngest, and he'd give us money depending on our age, And so when it got down to me, he, hold out your hand, he'd give you a quarter. But back then, a quarter was a lot of money. And you about that quarter because you could buy you a bag of penny candy, a big old bag of penny candy, and big wheel. I mean, you could really do it.
2 for a penny.
That's right.
2 for a penny. And that is what we're talking about is those type of values, Emily.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a generational shift that has occurred,
Mm-hmm.
And then there are some people, I hate to say it, but there's some folk in the family who feel like they're entitled just because of their standing. So
next week's show, entitlement. #entitlement.
I'm not kidding. And we could, because it's getting ready, we're getting close to get off. He told me 5. I don't know. I guess I put 5.
Now we got probably like 3 minutes.
We got 3 minutes. He said, but so that we can talk about coming into the new year and really, making a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And sticking to your plan or writing your plan down, because so many of us out there, I mean, I'm praising God because he's done a whole lot, and not because he's done a whole lot for me. I praise God because God is God. It's not what he done for me. It's almost like it's a transaction.
Well, the title to the next week's show is Sometimes If I Could Relate to Those I'm Related To.
That's awesome.
All right, you got to remember that, Henry.
Sometime how I can relate, and the family itself. I don't know. There are some people. What's that?
What the Atlanta Falcons? Is that Henry picture?
See, you know what? I didn't get personal. Don't come after me about my Atlanta Falcons.
Where's Atlanta?
Our Atlanta Falcons, Henry.
Look at the elf, the elf on the shelf. It's a black elf on the shelf, and he has an Atlanta Falcons.
You know what? Brenda did that. Brenda, you so low down. Are we at the end of the show? I'm walking off the stage.
Don't leave us here. He ain't finna leave us.
I cannot believe.
That's the only way they'll win. He tried to the elf do a little scratch off.
Brenda,
okay. I'm a Falcons fan to the end too, Henry.
Song.
That's low down.
What'd you say?
It is low down.
What'd you say, Emily? Give him a Christmas song.
Well, Johnny, what you want to do? We got like a minute and a half left.
What do you mean? Hang on, mistletoe. I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. Go.
And as we tree, how much fun it's gonna be together.
I'm upset at brother for doing that to Henry.
I'm serious.
I don't like
no.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Now bring in 3
I love y'all.
Oh, and my brother said Cowboys for me though. Cowboys Nation, it's all about that. Boom, boom, boom. He ain't studying them because y'all have a wonderful Christmas holiday. We will see y'all again later. We love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to All of a Sudden. Join them every Monday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. All of a Sudden with your host, Brenda Sutton. That's every Monday. We'll see you there.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9
FM, W300EB,
Macon, and WDDO 980 AM,
Perry.
Macon.